So I'm not a teacher of enlightenment, right? That's not what I do. I'm more of a solar installer guy. But I'm going to suggest that what I've figured out with water, I can use my body water and my experiences with water to teach enlightenment with more force and more influence than anybody teaching enlightenment without using water. Right, and so when you're the enlightenment is the space between things, the relationship. It's a bit like the water between the fish. That makes up most of the body in the fish. In fact, like the body of the fish is just this object kind of dissolved in water. And that's what our relationship is with awareness. And so to obtain that, or to obtain anything, it's really, if you're gonna look for it, the only way that happens is if you lose it. You break your relationship with it, and then you can see it, at least in other people, right? So you have to sacrifice something on the lower level. You have to break it, disassociate from it. And when you disassociate from that thing, your unconscious awareness, your connection to that thing, you'll be able to see it because you've lost it. Right? To lose something, you have to step away from it. And to step away from something means to look at it from a disassociated vantage point. Whereas before that, like if you were in the relationship, you can't look at it. Right? Like if you are this relationship, you can't look at it. It's like you're more whole. You're actually more whole than the version of you that broke the relationship and then is looking for it, right? Versus I am the relationship. I can't look for it or even know what it is, right? How could you can't intellectually understand what you're doing. The intellectual understanding implies the separation. So the broken things always have more intellectual understanding. People often associate the broken things or the separated things with evil. Because it's the broken relationship, it's the loss of purity, right? This happens anytime that you see anything that's like a loss of purity, a loss of innocence, right? Like if you get married, instead of being married your whole life and just going through that consistent state of being, you go, I am dissatisfied, you get a divorce, right? You've lost innocence and you've gained a certain wisdom or a certain understanding, even if, right? Like even if the, when you get it, when every instance of people finally getting what they want, finally getting any dissatisfaction resolved, finally getting any amount of, treasure or whatever, you see, oh man, what's valuable is actually this. And like, even if you had kept your purity, you would have never intellectually understood that. You would just be that already, right? So it takes a certain amount of faith to just be chill and to be like, oh, I'm already in it. Like I already am the relationship. I already am the connection to God. But to see that requires you have to be like a sheep. That's the faith. It's like a total docility towards the way things are, knowing that any sort of trying to figure it out, trying to do anything would be a detachment and a separation from awareness, from the source of being, from God. And so that leaves like two camps and two choices around everything. So be it anything that you could form an opinion around, you have the sheep and you have the goats. The sheep that do exactly what is, trusting that what is already connected. Then you have the goats, and the goats are the ones that understand it and climb on top of it and don't listen to any of it. You get that mentality, and they both have a different relationship. One is cast out in exile, but in like relishes in this mental understanding, and one doesn't really get to know that, you know. To be in it is to live in ignorance. So letting go of all the judgment, letting go of all the understanding, letting go of all the self-will. And that's why it's that sort of stuff, that sort of humility is the only way into heaven. Because to be with what is, you're only simply doing, right? To do the practice right now, I can feel the ability to feel everything as one is to imagine that you're a pocket of awareness, you're a pocket of water, and it's the same as if you're in the ocean, right? You can be in the ocean and looking around for fish, looking at things on the surface, but then how do you notice that what you're being supported by, the reason that you're floating, is this entire volume of empty water, empty consciousness, empty space? And as it moves, you move. In fact, that's why you could be in the water and floating 30 feet off the ground, held up by what? Held up by what? The whole thing as a block, right, is exerting the force of your body weight when you're floating in water, and you can feel that connection to that empty space. And so the atmosphere is doing that right now. It's like the empty space, the volumeness, the silence of all object, all perception, all space, all the air, like into the ground, into the matter. It's anywhere you look is just infinite space. Just like if you were floating in the middle of the ocean, and it's like that the silence of the ocean, everything below and connected in one. That field of water that we call the ocean, that is continuous around the whole earth. The waves are just the surface of this continuous field. When you step into that field, the spaciousness, the entirety of the field is connected to you. And so as you listen to it more and more, you can start to feel or move or connect to these very, big waves, very big currents in the water. And the goat sort of sees that they can't be escaped, and the sheep sort of sees that they can't be followed. Like everyone creates turbulence as they move through awareness. Like nobody moves through awareness perfectly with no turbulence other than awareness itself. Right? The nothing moves through the water without creating drag. And nothing escapes the flow of the water either. Nobody does anything different that changes the flow, even though they have complete freedom to do anything. It changes nothing about the flow. So you're following it as much as a sheep. And the sheep, no matter what they do, they're just creating waves, splashes, disturbance. Their entire existence is a disturbance, is a deviation from the awareness. And so you have to come at it strongly like that. It's sort of a between direction. Right, which means you have to look at what you currently understand as a between direction, like your synthesis. You have to look at that synthesis as no longer the center, but make it the pole, and then think of the opposite and kind of go through that gate. So like to open the mind back to I don't know what you would call it, to learn a new idea, right? To transcend a paradigm or whatever. You have to take your entire paradigm, which you think to be all explanatory, and you have to find that it's only a half or only a pole of the event, and then that creates a new middle. And then that mental activity itself, you have to like wipe it of all intellectual abstractions and sort of apply it to thingness. So like your thoughts more of in a poetic sense, or your words, like let that that trinity flow that we call awareness. Like when I explain it, it breaks into like, oh, it's this and that and that, but like when you're doing it, it's just your breath, it's just your voice, it's just the thought, and you can see it. Right, that's why people like toning and all that. It's just they're using that to see the surface of their awareness. Right, and so it comes from the attention being drawn to a point, and what draws the attention more than beauty, like sort of nothing. So it's the creation of some sort of intentional speech. Oh no, I have to use my GPS. But that's it. And so enlightenment is what I would say is like the water drop, the totality of the connection and the realness of the separation. Like when you drop water into the thing, it's all one thing, but that thing did cause an event. And so the water makes a boop sound.